But why? When we talk about expensive wheels, we talk about sometimes not expensive wheels, we talk about cheap wheels, we talk about easy to obtain wheels, and we talk about wheels that are like my ever-fleeting love life, just disappearing from the current scene. Just kidding, Rebecca, I still love you, don't get mad at me. Today we're gonna be talking to you about why are work wheels so good and why do they have such a cult following. So before we get into it, I'm Alex from Fitment Industries, and don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to the 100,000 because that's a really cool number and we really, really want it. And let's just jump right into it. Right. Sorry about that. We're buying a car. It requires us to get money and it's just a mess and it's been just a ton of fun. But don't worry, we're making videos on it in like a few days, so just get ready. Work Wheels was founded in March 8th of 1977 and have since just been an absolute powerhouse when it comes to the JDM wheel scene. Now we're not going to go into the history of Work. You actually did a wheel history episode on them. It was the second episode we ever did. It's almost a little cringeworthy, but it is pretty good if you want to know everything about the brand itself. But what you do need to know about Work is that they have just dominated the aftermarket Japanese wheel scene, and there's been a couple different reasons as to why. I've been drinking pop. Talk really fast, it's just weird. Work Wheels initially had a little bit of a jump into the motorsport scene, but really the reason that they blew up is because of the fact that in the late 70s, they provided an aftermarket style of wheel that people wanted that just wasn't available at the time. Work Wheels was kind of known as the hip, different aftermarket wheel company that you could get wheels from in the late 70s for different vehicles in Japan. And what happened over the next few years and decades just essentially was founded on the idea that workers created cool, creative wheels. Now they go into the monoblock, they go into the two-piece, the three-piece, they go into all different kinds of wheels, but the biggest thing that made Work so different was the fact that they were creative in the designs that they made way back in the day. In fact, their equipped lineup is one of the longest lasting wheel designs in the world, and they're still made to this day. Work Wheels has just been surrounded by a lot of different cool designs that people seem to love. That's one of the big reasons that we think Work is just such a good company, is because the designs that Work comes out with, for the most part, are pretty darn good looking. And on top of the fact that they're good, they're functionally just sound. They're just good wheels. But does just the design make them good? No, because there are some really good looking wheels out there that are absolutely terrible when it comes to structural integrity and brand style. And I bet you can figure out who I'm talking about. And Work developed different techniques to make their wheels good, like safety wheel humps and rigid lines and sort of solid forging rim lip technology. They formed all this different stuff because they wanted the wheels that they made to last a long time. So what ended up happening over time is Work was making wheels, especially in the late 70s, that people wanted, but not only people wanted, but ones that just lasted a long time. And you didn't have to have any sort of like worry about if things were gonna break or how they were made or the heritage behind them, because Work just came out of the gate making good wheels. And because they came out of the gate making good wheels, they took a lot of pride in the stuff that they were making. You have to remember that Work Wheels and wheels, especially older companies, especially from Japan, have just a different outlook sometimes on what it means to be a business. And they take a lot of pride, a lot of honor, I guess, if you want to use that cheesy word, into what makes a brand a brand. And if you go out onto the websites of Work, if you go out to different interviews and different things like that, you're going to see that Work cares a lot about who they're perceived as. They want to be the clean, the high class, the very well educated, the prideful company that Work Wheels is known for. There's a bunch of articles and interviews and things like that out there, even tours of Work's factories, on just how well they maintain everything and how clean everything is and how much pride they take in the fact that they meticulously care for almost every single wheel that they assemble and make. So when you tie in just a great design that makes Work work, because you can tell a Work is a Work from like a mile away, unless it's a rep, on top of the fact that they have that with how prideful they are about their business as a whole, they're pretty much set up for success. Now, what we think finally makes Work so good is because you can have a good brand and you can have it be, you know, cool designs, but how do you get almost, I would say, the entire world behind a wheel brand like Work? Well, you do it by just kind of getting in the market when you can, and they did that just fine. The domestic market is very weird. We're kind of like a group of people that always likes things that we can't have. If you look at things like the Holden, if you look at things like the GTR, if you look at things like just anything that we can't have, kind of like, you know, I would say a joke, but the only ones I can think of are R-rated, and YouTube gets mad and then they demonetize us. But if you think about things that you just want but can't have, that's Work from the get-go. There was a lot of push towards the Work wheel brand in the early 90s, but the difference was that Work finally did come over into the United States, and they had people that were importing their wheels at the same time. Now, if you remember, there was something happening in the 90s. You had the JDM craze, you had the RX-7s, you had the 3000 GTs, you had all of those cool cars coming out, you had even the Toyota MR2s and all that sort of stuff coming out in the Supras that like embodied the Work brand. They embodied that Japanese style that a lot of domestic newer owners wanted to have at the time, because you couldn't really pair a lot of those cars with a domestic wheel like American Racing or something like that, because it just didn't look good. It would look terrible. I hope nobody's done that. But because of that, Work wheels got involved in the domestic market and since really have never left. So why are Work wheels so good? I guess you could say it has a lot to do with the design, the pride, and the fact that they just got involved in a community that was essentially growing at the perfect time. And that's why Work wheels is so good. And if you get a set of Works, you're pretty much getting, I would say, a very good brand and a very good quality wheel. And no, we're not paid to talk about this like Work is some magical brand, but at the same time, you give credit where credit is due, because there are a lot of companies out there, especially wheel companies, that are popping up every single day. And when it comes down to if you want, like, you know, there's just a lot of different versions of stuff. So if you can go back to an O'Day, to a brand that like works and is good, that works and is good and has reliability and is prideful, you know you're getting something good. And that's why people love Work so much, is because they're just a brand that people can get behind, because they've pretty much never been let down by them. So let us know what you think in the comments below if you own a set of Works, and if you're interested in picking up a set, head over to fitmentindustries.com/quote, send in your year, make, and model and what sort of Works you're looking at. We'll be sure to help you out. But I'm Alex from Fitment Industries, and if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so, and let us know what you'd like to see next. We'll see you later. Peace.